Hello and welcome to the weekly highlights program on Azərbaycan Television with the major developments of the week. I'm your host, Cindy. Now first, let's take a brief look at some of the top stories of this week. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, arrived in Georgia for a working visit. President Ilham Aliyev received co-chair of the Nizami Ganjavi International Center, Ismail Siragildin, former heads of state and government, and members of the Board of Trustees of the center. On October 24th, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, arrived in Georgia for a working visit. A guard of honor was arranged for President Ilham Aliyev at Shatarostaveli Tbilisi International Airport, decorated with the national flags of the two countries. The head of state was welcomed by Minister of Foreign Affairs of Georgia, Ilya Darchiashvili, and other officials. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, and Prime Minister of Georgia, Irakli Garibashvili, held a one-on-one meeting at Chateau Mukhani in Mtskheta municipality. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, and Prime Minister of Georgia, Irakli Garibashvili, viewed the Heritage of Karabakh Khanate exhibition at Chateau Mukhani, Mtskheta municipality. The event featured a presentation of the Karabakh Khanate Historical and Cultural Identity book. Photos displayed at the exhibition were selected from the book Karabakh Khanate Historical and Cultural Identity on the basis of artifacts. This includes the first known image of the flag belonging to the Karabakh Khanate, the shield of Shah Ismail preserved in the Karabakh Khanate dynasty, ancient carpets, decorative tiles of the Sardar Mosque and its facade, as well as images of the 19th century Shusha, photos depicting the interior and facade of the Sardar Khan Palace of the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a horse saddle from the 19th century, tutars and a three-stringed kamancha, portraits of Hasan Gulu Khan Qajar and Fatali Shah Qajar, authored by Mirza Gadim Irivani. The book Karabakh Khanate Historical and Cultural Identity by the head of the group of authors, Professor Eldar Nadiradze, contains more than 300 artifacts belonging to the Karabakh Khanate. These were collected during the military and scientific expeditions by the Tsarist Russia in Karabakh in the 19th century and are currently stored in the Georgian National Museum. After being handed over to the museum's archives, the artifacts were never opened for some reason and remained uncatalogued for more than 100 years. This collection, catalogued in the form of a publication and serving, is an indicator of rare cultural heritage, will contribute to increasing international interest in the Karabakh Khanate, an integral part of Azerbaijan's history and its rich cultural heritage. The book was published in Azerbaijani, Russian, English, French, and Arabic. After viewing the Heritage of Karabakh Khanate exhibition at Chateau Mukhani in Mtskheta municipality, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, and Prime Minister of Georgia, Irakli Garibashvili, made press statements.
Მოგესალმებით ბატონო პრეზიდენტო Welcoming President of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev, Prime Minister Irakli Garibashvili thanks for the visit to Georgia. Prime Minister said our countries have incompatible friendly relations and close ties and expressed confidence that existing cooperation will rise to an even higher level in the interest of the well-being of the two countries and peoples. The regional situation, contacts between Azerbaijan and Armenia and the peace process between the two countries were considered. Our government and myself are hopeful that we'll do our best to implement the policy of peace. Good neighborly relations in our region are not against any format of cooperation. We will only strengthen it, and I'm sure that we can do a lot together, said Irakli Garibashvili. Prime Minister also supported the initiative put forward by President Ilham Aliyev and Prague to create a cooperation format in the South Caucasus. Economic, energy and transport issues, as well as implemented important projects, the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan oil and the Baku-Tbilisi-Erzurum gas pipelines, the Baku-Tbilisi-Kars railway and middle corridor were also reviewed. Then Prime Minister Irakli Garibashvili quoted national leader Aliyev. Azerbaijan and Georgian peoples are lucky to be neighboring nations. Our ancestors created those contexts, and it's our duty today to carry that collaboration forward and pass it on to the future generations. President Ilham Aliyev thanks for the invitation and expressed joy to visit Georgia again. The head of our state said the bilateral relations are based on very deep traditions and that we actively cooperate in. President Ilham Aliyev informed the Prime Minister about the situation of the Second Karabakh War and the progress of peace negotiations between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and expressed hope that after the Karabakh conflict the time has come for Azerbaijan and Armenia to sign a peace treaty. Dwelling on the increase in turnover, the head of our state said in 9 months of this year, the turnover has approached $1 million. Azerbaijan has invested more than $3 million in Georgia. This investment is mutually beneficial because it meets the interests of both parties. New projects are underway. We intended to increase gas exports to world markets. The Memorandum of Strategic Partnership in the field of energy, signed between the European Commission and Azerbaijan in July of this year, indicates that Azerbaijan will double gas exports to Europe in the next 5 years. At the same time, exports will be increased through the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan oil pipeline next year. We also want to use the Baku-Supsa oil pipeline, which is currently not in operation, said President Ilham Aliyev. The new project to be implemented is related to electricity. Azerbaijan's electricity to the world markets. Export direction passes through Georgia. Producing and exporting this energy is on our agenda in the coming years, emphasized the head of our state, and stressed the volume of cargo transportation between Georgia and Azerbaijan increased by 75% this year, and is planning to increase the carrying capacity of the Baku-Tbilisi-Kars railway to 5 million tons. For this purpose, Azerbaijan will make additional investment in this project this year and next year. President Ilham Aliyev once again expressed gratitude to the Prime Minister for the invitation and wished prosperity, well-being and peace to the friendly and brotherly Georgian people.
Hörmətli baş nazirə təşəkkürümü bildirmək istəyirəm. Dost qardaş Gürcü xalqına daim firavanlıq, rifah və sülh arzuluyorum. Sağ olun.
Then a cultural program was presented at Chateau Mukhranin, Mtskheta municipality of Georgia.
The national customs and traditions of the Georgian people were demonstrated in the cultural program. President Ilham Aliyev and Prime Minister Irakli Garibashvili watched Georgian national dances. Georgian national music and dances, samples of Georgian cuisine, including sweets, were presented at the event.
On October 24th, President Ilham Aliyev ended his working visit to Georgia.
A guard of honor was arranged for the head of state at Shota Rustaveli Tbilisi International Airport, decorated with the national flags of Azerbaijan and Georgia. President of Azerbaijan Ilham was seen off by Prime Minister of Georgia Irakli Garibashvili.
On October 28, President Ilham Aliyev also received Minister of Education and Science of Georgia Mikhail Chkhenkeli. The head of state underlined his successful visit to Georgia a few days ago, saying that fruitful discussions were held and describing the visit as very important for the future development of bilateral relations between the two countries. The president said that the discussed issues covered a broad range of agenda in political, economic, transport, energy and other fields. President Ilham Aliyev noted that the education is one of the important parts of bilateral cooperation. The head of state described the functioning of Azerbaijani schools in Georgia and Georgian schools in Azerbaijan as a good indicative of this. President Ilham Aliyev expressed confidence that Mikhail Chkhenkeli's visit would contribute to strengthening cooperation between the relative ministers of the two countries. Expressing his gratitude for the reception, Mikhail Chkhenkeli described the Azerbaijani president's visit to Georgia as a historic one, adding that the visit of special importance in expanding the bilateral relations. The minister pointed to a very fruitful and successful cooperation between the two countries' ministries of education and science. At the meeting, the sides exchanged views on prospects for bilateral cooperation. On October 26, President Ilham Aliyev received co-chair of the Nizami Ganjavi International Center, Ismail Serageldin, formal heads of state and government, and members of the Board of Trustees of the center. Ismail Serageldin emphasized that the influence of the Nizami Ganjavi International Center in the world had enhanced in recent times. He said that direct relations had been established with international organizations and leading institutions of a number of countries. He expressed his gratitude to the head of state for supporting the activities of the Nizami Ganjavi International Center. Ismail Serageldin presented keepsakes to the head of state on the occasion of the 10th anniversary of the establishment of the center. President Ilham Aliyev conveyed his congratulations on the occasion of the anniversary of the Nizami Ganjavi International Center and stated that the celebration of the anniversary in Baku was quite symbolic in nature. The head of state hailed the expansion of the center's cooperation at the international level and the enhancement of its role and reputation in the world. It was stated at the meeting that the Global Baku Forum, held by the Nizami Ganjavi International Center under the auspices of the President of Azerbaijan on an annual basis, was already recognized as an international platform discussing current issues all over the world and proposing new approaches to their solution. Ismail Serageldin stated that the Nizami Ganjavi International Center had participated in international conferences held under the auspices of the presidents of those countries in China and Poland, in the United States within the framework of the UN General Assembly, in cooperation with the World Health Organization in Geneva and the UN Office at Geneva, the World Health Organization in Berlin, the Technology Summit held in Japan, and the Riga Conference 2022 held in the capital of Latvia, acting as a partner in the events. On October 27th, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev received UN Deputy Secretary General, Director General of the United Nations Office at Geneva, Tatyana Volovaya.
The sides expressed confidence that Azerbaijan will achieve the targets set by 2030 in connection with the implementation of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and the achievements in this regard were emphasized. Azerbaijan's cooperation with structures and specialized agencies of the UN Office at Geneva was underlined. Moreover, Azerbaijan's voluntary financial contributions to UN specialized agencies as well as support for donor initiatives were pointed out. As chairman of the non-aligned movement, the humanitarian and financial assistance provided by Azerbaijan to more than 80 member countries of the movement through the World Health Organization as part of response measures to COVID-19 was described as exemplary. Tatyana Volovaya held the importance of the photo exhibition dedicated to Azerbaijani women, which was held under the joint initiative of the head of the UN office at Geneva and the Heydar Aliyev Foundation at the Heydar Aliyev Center. It was noted that the exhibition promotes Azerbaijani women who have contributed to the Sustainable Development Goals, and that the event first organized in Baku will be held on a regular basis in other countries as well.
On October 27th, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev received Deputy Prime Minister of the Russian Federation Alexei Overchuk.
The sides held a dynamic development of bilateral relations based on the agreements reached between the presidents of Azerbaijan and Russia and the current state of cooperation between the two countries in various fields, including economic and trade, transport and transit, and energy, emphasizing progress in all areas and the increase in turnover. They exchanged views on the North-South transport corridor. During the conversation, the sides discussed the activities of the trilateral Azerbaijan-Russia-Armenia working group established for the purpose of restoring transport and economic relations in the region regarding the implementation of the November 10th statement. The sides exchanged views on other issues of mutual interest.
On October 29th, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, received First Deputy Prime Minister of the Russian Federation, Andrei Belousov.
The sides held a successful and dynamic development of bilateral relations between the two countries in all areas and emphasized the trade growth. During the conversation, they discussed the issues related to prospects for bilateral cooperation in economic and trade, transport, logistics, the North-South transport corridor, financial and banking, tourism and other fields.
That was all for the week. Thank you for watching us and see you next Sunday.